Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, everybody. Today we're interviewing Harry Glanz. He's a veteran with over 27 years of mortgage banking experience. Harry co-founded Capital Mortgage Funding in the spring of 1992 with partner Dan Burke. Throughout the years, Capital Mortgage Funding has been recognized as one of the fastest growing companies and has closed billions of dollars in residential loan transactions while consistently ranked as one of the largest independent mortgage bankers in Michigan and has been named by the Detroit Free Press as one of the area's best workplaces. Harry has been nominated by a local radio station as an Entrepreneur of the Year, as a co-host and creator of the Hardcore Mortgage and Real Estate Radio program, which can be heard every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 on 97.1 FM, The Ticket. The company promotes various helpful hints and dispenses valuable consumer advice. Harry has also previously been voted as one of Crain's Detroit Business Top 40 Under 40 business professionals and is extremely active in community service and charitable events. Welcome, Harry, and thank you very much for being here today.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me, and I really appreciate it, and looking forward to letting everybody know how we operate and what we do for a living.
Awesome. On that note, before we jump in, can you tell us a bit more about you?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm married. I've 2 children, ages 25 and 21, very active. I like to coach high school sports. I'm currently an assistant coach for the last 10 years at a local high school here in the Detroit metropolitan area. I coach both baseball and basketball. And just like really staying active in the community. We do a lot of charity work. We do a lot of home buying seminars, and just like to give back and be extremely active.
Awesome. Now, tell us about what got you into the lending business. Is this something you always wanted to do, or is this something you stumbled into?
You know, it's funny you say that, but I always worked from, starting as a kid, just typical as a kid back in the early 70s, delivered papers, shoveled snow, cut lawns, bus tables at local restaurants, ended up delivering pizzas. And, I always like to work and, obviously make your own money. It's a good feeling when you can make money, and always had a competitive streak, played a lot of sports growing up, organized sports, and also organized teams. And, with the combination of a hard work ethic and, just always like doing things on your own and organizing things, I started getting into business. I worked at a local, one of my first jobs, what I like to say in the real world, going to school and being I thought at the time entrepreneurial. It doesn't sound right, but I went to work for a bank. I mean, it doesn't sound exciting, but to me it was. I started as a credit analyst at a local bank, and I got to, really analyze people's credit and what their needs were for credit. So I was in the credit industry at a very early age, and the bank was willing to put me, to train me and put me through their banking program. And then, I got out of banking for a little bit. And then in the mid-'80s, a group of people I know started a mortgage company. And, I said, well, if they can do it, I can certainly do it. And they hired me back in the late 1980s. And I stayed at their company for a couple of years. And then Dan Burke and I started our company in 1992. So I guess you could say it was the background of just doing things on my own and learning the work world, and then being trained in banking. Even though banking doesn't sound exciting, it was for me. I got to meet a lot of people, and when you're analyzing people's credit and, establishing their credit needs and trying to, advise and counsel them as to, how much they can afford, it really appealed to me. So after I got in the mortgage industry and I was at another company for a couple of years, I decided with a partner that we could do it out and we can go out on our own, and we've been doing it ever since. Very
cool. You already alluded to the fact that you were pretty entrepreneurial at heart, right? I mean, from the beginning, doing all these little chores when you were a kid. Can you talk a bit more about these traits of yours that played a role towards your success?
Yeah, I guess, when you talk to a lot of successful people, and I've been fortunate to be friend of a lot of successful people. I have a lot of successful mentors, and you really have to have a strong work ethic, and you have to be excited about what you do. You have to look forward to doing it every day, and you can never be told no. I mean, it really starts at no, and in business, people from time to time will, they always want to tell you, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. But if you really believe in yourself and you believe in the people around you, and you're good at what you do, I think the attributes you have to have drive, you have to have the will to succeed, and you can't let people say no to you. And people are always going to want to try to rain on your parade, and there's a lot of noise out there, and you just got to go through all those no's to get to a yes. And that's the drive that you have to have.
A great answer. This was awesome. I like the perspective of not allowing a no to put you off your goal. Right? That's awesome.
Yeah. You're gonna hear a lot of no's in your life, and you just have to keep going through them. You just have to, have that belief that you can succeed, and again, with the right business plan and with the right partners and the right people that you're working with, you can certainly accomplish a lot.
Yeah. One thing that's for sure, there's no straight line to success, right? There's ups and downs. Can you talk to the major adversities or trials you had to overcome, and maybe how you kept going despite these obstacles?
Well, in our industry, the mortgage banking industry has had a lot of adversity, that had a lot of ups and downs, but we've been able to maintain, especially in 2007, 2008, 2009, the economy was in a recession and close to a depression. Financial institutions were going out of business all across the United States. The world economy was in trouble. There were bailouts, and I'm one of those people that actually were in favor of bailouts, because if the banking industry wasn't bailed out and the auto industry wasn't bailed out, then I believe the United States economy would have fallen into deeper depression than it already was. So we had, from that time frame, the adversities were just, making it day to day. And we never really had an issue because we never did any subprime lending. We never lent money to people at outrageous interest rates, charged outrageous costs. We're a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac approved lender as well as a direct endorsed lender. And, we're kind of, we're not really a sexy lender. We lend by the book. We have certain flexibilities, but we never really did any subprime loans, any exotic ARM programs, pick your payment ARM. It was called an option ARM, and we just never did that. We lent responsible, and I think that that's what I learned my early years at a bank is that, at the time banks were very, very conservative, and we have a very conservative, but what I call a common sense approach to lending. And, we want everybody to be a homeowner, but it just can't happen. There are certain people that are not going to qualify, and we follow the rules. So I guess the best thing you could say is if somebody always says, well, Harry, your company, you guys follow the rules too much. That's the biggest compliment we could ever get in lending is that we follow the rules. And I like that.
Yeah, I'd say so. But personally, when you reach, you probably had moments in your career so far that you really hit a wall. And how did you keep going despite this perspective that you weren't going anywhere? We just want to tell people that when this happens, that there's a way around that. I'd just like to know your perspective on that.
It's fun. You always have ups and downs, and you always have challenges and obstacles. But I've never really felt that going to work on any given day was very hard. It's not a hardship. I like coming to work every day. I like what I do. I like being around the people I'm around with, and I like hiring new people. And it gives you energy. But there are days, obviously there's some days that are better than others. And how you get through them is just that. You just get through it. You just, put your head down and you plow through it. And, you treat people right. You deal with honesty. I'm pretty opinionated. And if somebody asks me a question, I give them an answer. And I make sure it's the right answer by doing my homework. And you're just honest and straightforward with people. So when you run into adversity, you just have to deal with it head on and, do the right thing and treat people the right way. People aren't always going to get, they're not always going to get a right decision from us. There are going to be some adverse times where we can't approve people for loans or where some of our team members do have issues, but we try to take care of it and we do the best that we can, but we give everybody an honest shot and we deal with them, up front and let the chips fall where they may.
Awesome. Now let's talk about the future. What's your vision about your business, let's say, within the next 5 years?
Well, the great news is here at Capital Mortgage Funding, we're growing. We're hiring a lot of younger people, bringing younger people on to our company. We've been around, a long time, but, you've got to have people that have young, fresh legs, young, fresh perspectives on how to do things. And I look forward to, continuously bringing people on that want to contribute. and looking forward to grow. We're looking at other markets around not only metropolitan Detroit, but around the state of Michigan. We're a top lender in metropolitan Detroit and in the state of Michigan, but we're just looking to, our goal isn't to be the McDonald's of the mortgage business. We want to take care of each and every client and use our technology as well as our interpersonal skills to make sure our clients are taken care of. And that's really the first and foremost vision that we have, is always taking care of our clients, making sure our clients are very happy with us, as well as our teammates, our employees are happy with us and happy with what they do. So I just look forward to continue the expansion of that and bring on high energy individuals that are extremely client service oriented.
Great. And apart from hiring good people and, to take the lead eventually, how do you see the marketing of it all from your perspective?
Well, the marketing, we do a couple different marketing plans. First of all, it's our internal marketing, and how we market internally is we always market and continue to market our existing client base, letting them know what's going on in the market, whether interest rates are going up or down, what's going on in the housing sector. We keep track of our clients, and we want to make sure our clients know that if they have any questions, that they can call us right away, email us, however they have to contact us, that we're with them for the life of their loan. And even if we package and sell their loan off and there's another number to call, we're always first and foremost the phone number that they should be reaching for and calling or emailing, because we're always their advocate. We always advocate for our clients. So we do a lot of internal marketing.
Okay.
We put on a lot of home buying seminars. We're out in the community. We do a lot of meet and greets. And then external marketing. We have our radio show that we've had for the last 16 years on 97.1 FM, The Ticket in Detroit. We do that every Saturday morning from 9 to 10. We also other radio and television advertising direct to the consumer. We view ourselves as any other retailer. We have to go to the consumer direct as well as, do our internal marketing. So we have an internal and external marketing plan, which we'll continue to do in the future.
Awesome. Now let's talk about some of the misconceptions out there about working with independent mortgage lenders. What would you say is the biggest one?
I would tell you that as an independent lender, the biggest misconception is that a bank can take care of you better than an independent lender. And I will tell you honestly that, banks are good for checking accounts, savings accounts, boat loans, car loans, things of that nature. But when it comes to a consumer lending product like a mortgage or a home equity loan, you go to a specialist. It's kind of like going to a doctor. You can go to a general practitioner and they can probably take care of more than one or two or three of your needs. But if you really need a specialized procedure, you have to go see a specialist. And it's that way. And I know that's a harsh analogy, but it's that way in lending too, because you want somebody that's going to be taking care of your specific need. And a more personal, it's specific, it can sometimes be an excruciating experience. So we try to make it as seamless and painless as possible, because that's all we do. We don't do any boat loans, car loans, checking accounts, savings accounts. So we specialize in mortgage transactions. So the misconception is that a bank, as a general practitioner, can take care of it as well as an independent. That's certainly not true. It's the exact opposite. All of our employees are licensed. They've had to pass rigorous testing and continuing education. In the banking world, they are not nationally licensed, or even in some cases state licensed. So independent lenders go through more training and more continuous education in the process as well. And seeing as how we only do one thing, we have to do that one thing, which is mortgage lending, very, very well. So that's dispelling any misconception in the lending industry.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Now, hypothetically, let's say a family member that lives on the other side of the country was thinking about getting a home loan or refinancing. What type of advice would you give him? What should he do or look for?
Well, we're licensed in all 50 states. We can do loans anywhere in the United States. And when my relatives, and they often do, who live outside of Michigan, they call up and they say, we're looking at buying a house here in Boston. What can I do? And first of all, I tell them that they have to get the house inspected. You have to do a home inspection. You never, as a homeowner, want to waive a home inspection at all, ever. And that home inspector works for you. You hire an independent, licensed, bonded, insured home inspector and get that house inspected, because it's the biggest single purchase people are going to make in their life, and they need to know what's going property. Number two is when they sign a purchase agreement, it should always be contingent upon that and an appraisal. You want to make sure that when you buy a house, it's worth what you're paying for. And oftentimes, sometimes people in their exuberance, and it's a very exciting time buying a house, is that they'll overpay. Now, it's okay to overpay if you know you're overpaying. And that's something that people have to make that decision on their own. But you want to make the property purchase contingent on an appraisal as well as the inspection. Those are my two biggest pieces of advice. So when people want to go ahead and they want to buy a house, whether it's a new purchase or a refinance transaction, especially the appraisal part in a refinance transaction, we can only do the approval of the loan based on the appraisal to a certain degree. If a house is a $300,000 house and it comes in at $250,000, we can lend on $250,000. So an appraisal is an extremely important part and characteristic of the transaction.
Great advice. Continuing with advice to wrap up, what one piece of advice for our listeners would you recommend for anybody who wants to get into the lending business?
Well, I think it's a great profession. I think it's a profession where people can help people. Everybody that is buying a house needs a mortgage. I know people say that they pay cash, but people with a lot of money or with no money usually end up getting a mortgage when they buy a house. Cash transactions are still very, very rare. People always want to borrow money, because the only transaction now that is tax deductible right now is mortgage interest. The government's your partner, and that's the only deduction right now that the government hasn't taken away is home mortgage interest. So the government's your partner, and it's a great, owning a home is a great thing for a family. It's, you put your kids through certain school districts, or it's really nice feeling when especially in our industry as a professional, when you get somebody in their first home, you can see the excitement and the, just really the exuberance that they have in buying, and the pride in home ownership that they want to have and that they take in owning a home. So I would tell people that if you're looking for a profession, that you like working with people, you're making a difference in the community, you're helping people out, you're making people happy. As long as you do it the right way, you're honest, you're above board, you give people the right information, I think it's a great profession.
Awesome. Well, this was extremely interesting, but if our listeners want to learn more or get in touch with you, how should they do that?
Well, you can give us a call. Our phone number out of state is 1-800-3-LOW-RATE, 1-800-569-7283. In the state of Michigan, it's 1-800-LOW-RATE, 1-800-569-7283. Online, lowrateonline.com. That's our website. But I encourage people to call us, because we really like the interpersonal connection that we have with people. But you can go to our website, lowrateonline.com, and we'll call you back. You can hit us up on the website. We have a lot of information on there. You can listen to our show every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on 97.1 FM, The Ticket in Detroit, Michigan. And those are really or you can email me direct at hglanz, that's HGLANZ, at lowrateonline.com. I still write loans. I'm still involved every day with consumers on the street. I don't sit behind my desk, drink coffee, eat donuts, and spill powdered sugar on reports all day long. We actually write loans for a living. So I think and that's another reason people really, in our community, people really enjoy coming to us, because they know that we're out there and, we work for a living. So, Daniel, I can tell you it's been great. It's been a great 27 years so far, and I'm looking for 27 more, at least.
This is awesome. I love your URL and your numbers with the low rate part. That's awesome. Yep. Out of state, it's 800-3-LOW-RATE. In the state of Michigan, it's 1-800-LOW-RATE. Wow, that's great. Well, thank you so much, Harry, for taking the time. This is extremely appreciated, and it was very inspiring. So once again, a huge thank you for taking the time. Thank you very much. Thank you, and I appreciate you having us on. All right. Bye, Harry.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.